Trail of the White Worm, the fifth entry in the first series of the Fourth Doctor adventures from Big Finish, first released in 2 parts across CD and download on the 31st of May 2000. Continuing on with Leela's education, the Fourth Doctor, voiced once again by Tom Baker, as companion Leela, voiced once again by Louis Jameson, find themselves in the middle of the English countryside, specifically Derbyshire, where they encounter a hunting party led by Carswell, voiced by John Banks. Now, they are on the trail of a mysterious creature of a white snake. However, the Doctor and Leela know that this is something more. The creature that they're looking for is not a snake. They know it to be a white worm, and they know it to be a particularly dangerous type of creature that has existed since the Stone Age. While trying to escape from the hunting party, they also end up encountering several other characters, including Julie, voiced by Becca Gemmell, who is a girl who's not really into the kind of quiet country life in Derbyshire. She is actually attempting to run away to London to join the punk rock crowd. However, another person who's on her trail is a guy named John, played by Mark Field, who has definitely a duty of care over Julie and legitimately does care about her and wants to keep her safe. But there's also a woman called Demesne Furs, voiced by Rachel Sterling, who does bring Julie back to the countryside. Now, Rachel Sterling would end up appearing in Doctor Who again 1 year later, portraying the role of Ada Gilliflower in the Series 7 episode The Crimson Horror, alongside her mother Diana Rigg, who played, of course, Mrs. Gilliflower. Now, there isn't that much correlation between these two roles, in fact there's no correlation apart from the actress, but it is once again nice to hear Rachel Sterling did actually get a role in Doctor Who before her main one, so those still are always nice to hear. But the other person who they end up encountering is a retired military officer known as Colonel Spindleton, voiced by Michael Cochrane, who's a man who resides at his home of Lantern Manor and is very keen on keeping people off his land. Hell, he has his own tank and helicopter, but he does actually provide a nice go with it. However, the main problem they've got, aside from the White Worm, is also Spindleton's kind of manservant, Mwalimu. And it turns out Mwalimu is actually... Well, he claims Mwalimu is just a kind of figure in a kind of hooded cloak. It is actually the Master, voiced once again by Geoffrey Beevers, who of course played the role of the Master on screen in the 1981 story The Keeper of Traken. Now, whether this story actually took place from the Master's perspective prior to or after The Deadly Assassin, it's hard to say. I personally prefer to think that this story takes place after The Deadly Assassin but before the Keeper of Traken. I mean, that just works. I mean, Leela... The Deadly Assassin took place before Leela came on board as a companion, so it does make a small degree of sense. The story was also written by Alan Barnes. I mean, he's done a pretty good job here. And the way they kind of do things, showing what the creature is and how it works, I think they do really well here. But I can't really talk about that much about this story, mainly because, while it is 2 parts, this is technically only part 1 of a 2-part story. The other parts would take place in the following story, The Poseidon Adventure. So, for the time being at least, I can't actually tell you that much about this story because, hell, I don't even know all the ins and outs of it yet. All I can tell you is that it does end up with pretty much everyone discovering that Demesne Furs is actually the creature, the White Worm, and the Doctor and Leela have to find a way to stop the Master and ultimately find a way back out on top, which is going to be difficult. So, until I've seen part 2, The Poseidon Adventure, that's my quick little review of Trail of the White Worm. And yes, I think it's a pretty good setup, but we'll see where things go with it. So there you go, there's my quick little review of Trail of the White Worm. Let me know what you think of it down below. Until next time, see ya.